Hello, welcome third grade to Tuesday, day number 2 of the week. We are going to be going over lesson 16 today through our worksheet. So again, we're doing the same thing where we are taking an array and dividing it to 2 parts. So here, 6 times 4, instead of just doing 6 times 4, we're taking our array and dividing it into 2. So remember, if I draw my line here, here's my one array of 5 rows with 4 in each row, which I can count by 5s to my 4th finger to get the answer. 5, 10, 15, 20. And I wrote that down here. And then I have my one row of 4. And that gives me a total of 4. So now watch as I'm going through this. I'm right here pulling down an arrow because I know the answer has to be done first. Remember, we take what's in parentheses and do that first and then bring it down. So I know my answer 1 times 4 is 4. 20 plus 4 is 24, which means my 6 times 4 equals 24. So we're going to go through another example of this. So over here, I have 7 times 4. So the first thing I'm doing is breaking up. I have my first array down here, 5 times 4, because I have 5 rows with 4 in them. And I know that I can skip count by 5s to my 4th finger. 5, 10, 15, 20. But now I have a new array down here, and I have 2 rows with 4 each. So I can count by 4s to my 2nd finger for 8. But now I need to add these 2 arrays together to get the total. So here's one part, here's the second part. Now I need the total. So what I'm going to do is take my arrows so I know where my answers are. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8, 20 plus 8. Remember, if this gets difficult, I can always go over here and add it this way. 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 gets brought down, 28. So I know my total of 7 times 4 is 28. So again, we did this a little bit before where we're taking a big array, and let's say we're not yet comfortable with 7 times 4. I'm going to break it down into 2 smaller arrays and add them together. So we have 2 more example ones. So again, what I'm doing is 8 times 4. Now I'm dividing it here because I'm comfortable with counting by 5. So I'm dividing my array right here so I can count by 5s. So as we know from today's, 5 times 4 is 5, 10, 15, 20. So I'm writing my answer here. And now I have a new array down here. So this is my first array, my second array, part 2. So now I know there's 4 in each row. That's why that's there. But how many rows do I have? So let's count. 1, 2, 3. So I know my 3 has to go here because I have 3 rows. So now it turns into 3 times 4. So now let's count by 4s to our 3rd finger. 4, 8, 12. So I know my answer is 12 over here. So now I have to look down here. I have my first array right here. Now my second array, because I want to add them together, has to go down here. So I'm adding my first array plus my second array. So as we know, my 5 times 4 I already solved, so I'm going to draw my arrow and write my answer. And my 3 times 4 I've already solved, so I'm going to draw my arrow and write my answer. But now I need to add my 20, my first array, plus my second array. So again, if I don't feel comfortable and I can't do it in my head, I'm going to write it out. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So now I know my array, the full array together, is 32. So my 8 rows times 4 in each row gives me an answer of 32, because I might not know 8 times 4 right off the bat is 32. So I'm building my array and dividing it in half to help simplify it. So I'm going over here to my 9 times 4. But I don't know 9 times 4, so I have my big array cut off at 5 times 4 because I do feel comfortable counting by 5s. I'm going to count by 5s to my 4th finger. 5, 10, 15, 20. But now I have my second part of my array. So now I need to solve for my second part. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in each row. That's where I get my 4. But now, how many rows do I have? Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have my 4 rows times 4 in each row. Let's count by 4s to our 4th finger to find the answer. 4, 8, 12, 16. So remember, here's part 1, part 2. Now I need to add it all together. So here's my 9 times 4. I have my first array, but now I need to put my second array. Remember, there are 4 rows, so my 4 is going to go here. The first thing I want to do is solve my 5 times 4 with my arrow, so I know my answer goes there. I know 5 times 4 is 20. But now I need to add 4 times 4. So what's 4 times 4? I can look back here, 16. So now I see I have my first array plus my second array. I need to add them together to figure out my new total. 0 plus 6, 2 plus 1. My new total is 36. So I remember I have to bring my answer back up to the top. 9 times 4 is 36. So this is showing how sometimes we might not be comfortable yet with these big multiplication problems. So we can draw arrays and divide them up and add each section or multiply each section. So now we are going to practice just the top part with matching the equal expressions. So here's what I know. The second number is always going to be the same. But these numbers we want to add together, because if these are the same, I'm going to multiply it by 4. So over here, because we saw 6 times 4 is the same as 5 times 4 plus 1 times 4. And when I went to 8 times 4, I know 8 times 4 equals 5 times 4 plus 3 times 4. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So if I see the expression 5 times 4 plus 3 times 4, I know I can add my 5 and my 3 because they're different. So I'm going to add 7 times 4 is my new answer. So I'm going to connect it all the way over here. So again, over here, when I have my 5 times 4, my times 4 stays the same because they are the same. But I'm going to add my 5 and my 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6. And my times 4 stays the same. So 6 times 4 would be my new answer. So when I'm looking over here, I see my times 4 is the same. But I have my 5, the first numbers that need to be added together. So 5 plus 4 is 9. Now I have to bring down my times 4, which gives me a new answer. Not a new answer, a new equation. Because my answer is going to stay the same. 5 times 4 plus 4 times 4 equals 36. And 9 times 4 equals 36. So now we're on our last one. I see I have 5 and 2 are my different numbers, plus times 4 and times 4. So 5 plus 2 is 7, and I'm keeping my times 4. So now I have 7 times 4 equals 5 times 4 plus 2 times 4. And remember, go back, or if you can look back, Over here we can see I took my 7 times 4. I made a big array and divided my array into 5 times 4 and 2 times 4. So we're showing how we can have one array, but with that array, we can divide it into smaller sections to make it easier. All right, and that is it for today. And if you look on Edmodo, you will find your assignment. Thank you.